that I was
She
gonna
wasn't
go.
anticipating that.
She
Oh.
hit me, knocked me over.
You're a jerk.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'm going to administer oaths of office to Mr. Dolph, newly elected to the Board of Education, and to Kai Storer, who's been appointed as our ex officio student board member. Please answer, I do. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Board of Education Trustee?
Sounds like I just got married.
You would sign right there, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of ex officio student board member?
I do.
Thank you very much. You're official now.
Congratulations, Kai. Bruce.
At this time, I will call for nominations for the Board of Education President for 25-26 school year.
Anybody mind if I speak first? Okay, so it's been an absolute pleasure leading this team for the last 3 years. This is going to be my last year on the Board of Education, and with that, I would love to be able to support somebody else in this role. I want to take a step back. I think I deserve a break. I put a lot of hours in as president, which somebody will find out. I want to be here to help my last year, but I don't want to lead the district. I think it's a new board, and I want people to take it in different directives. I hope I've showed everybody to keep it to 30,000-foot level and to keep things consistent, you know, not overreacting and keeping things calm. And I think the community has rewarded us as a team by supporting our budgets, by not having a lot of drama come to us. We've been really supported by our staff and our community. So with that, I would love to take a step back. If anyone else is interested in being president, I would love to nominate him, just because I want to be here to support my last year and take a step back. So is anyone interested in being board president? I didn't figure for that.
If nobody steps up, I would consider it. I mean, but I can't nominate myself.
I will nominate Kevin Verveer for board president for 25-26.
I second that. All right. Let me just get caught up here. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Anybody abstaining? Okay,
You accept?
Yeah,
Okay.
very good.
I don't know what I'm doing now, but
We'll be here to support. I'll do the ceremonial switch.
Yes, and then I will give you your oath of office,
okay.
and we will turn the reins over to you.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're gonna hear from me.
I'm not going anywhere.
Mr. Dutcher, could we give him the paper packet?
Yep. Oh, that's your clear paper. And your first set of signatures. Oh, this side of the table again.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Board of Education President? this time, I will turn the meeting over to you, and we will call for nominations for vice president.
So we're on
Item 2D.
2D. Okay, so at this time, we'll take any nominations for vice president.
I would nominate Tammy Tweedy.
I'll second that.
Nomination for Tammy second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Thank you.
Tammy's a great vice president, by the way.
All right.
We'll now administer the oath of office for the vice president.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Board of Education Vice President according to the best of your ability? Thank you. Okay. Sign right here.
I like where they put the candidate.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're all set now. Moving
Yes.
forward with items, with our reorganizational meeting consent agenda. Are there any items that anyone would like to pull for discussion? Not hearing anything, so then I entertain a motion for approval for the consent agenda for the reorganizational meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Please signify
Aye.
by saying aye. Any nays? Nope. Okay, now we're back to our regular meeting.
Right.
Okay. General session approval of the minutes from the June 17th, 2025 regular meeting. And entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to accept them.
Need a second. Motion seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Nope. The motion's approved. The item's approved. Now we're on item 5A, public comment. Do we have any public comments tonight? No public comment. Item 6, the discussion items. Okay, so first off, we'd like to congratulate our newest board member, Bruce Dolph, for joining us on the board tonight.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your election. Look forward to working with you. Also like to welcome our new student board member, Kai Storer. Congratulations, Kai. Look forward to working with you this school year. We have a special meeting coming up on Tuesday, July 22nd at 6 p.m. We will have a second reading of the student personal devices policy, and that meeting will be focused on the strategic planning and priority setting for our initiatives for this upcoming school year. Dinner will be included. We also have a need to schedule the annual building walkthrough in August. Are we soliciting for dates right now then?
Well, you should at
After-
least think about it.
Okay,
So that,
looks like we're targeting potentially the week after the
Right.
fair, so.
Should we email these dates?
Sure.
Is that the best?
so I can send out an email to everyone, but if you would get back to me so we could get that scheduled.
I think last time we did it on a Monday, didn't we? It was
I
early in the
believe
week,
so.
I think
just to give them more
Monday-
time to
Monday
be
or
able to
Tuesday, yeah.
respond.
Mhm.
I think Labor Day's a little early this year, so.
And no construction to,
Yeah, there's no big
to
construction right now
to
anyway.
look
so
at
we should
this
be-
year, so
That's a
should be
first in a while.
more
Yeah.
straightforward.
Yep.
Okay. So the NISBA annual convention, we've talked about this at the past few meetings. It's scheduled for October 23rd to 25th in New York City. Registration opens on August 12th, and we need to decide if anybody is attending. There is also a virtual option, which I did last year, which I thought was really good because you get to see all the main presentations, the big topic items, and it's much cheaper. It's $250 per person to attend virtually. In-person attendance is $1340 per person plus travel and expenses. So any discussion about who would be attending the annual conference? Is there any interest from anybody?
I can do that. We did this year.
I don't want to travel down there.
Okay.
I thought that virtual was nice because you could package up the presentations and we could still look at them on our leisure.
Yeah.
So at least having someone attend to be able to share out the presentations, I thought was powerful enough for me. But, you know, that way if you could pick whatever topic you were comfortable with. The only thing you do miss is the in-person interactions and all the vendors. You know, there is that piece of it you would miss, but I think presentation-wise, it gives you more availability to actually see everything. Whereas you have to pick one when you're there, you know, you could have conflicts, so.
It's a bit overwhelming to try to find everything, try to see what you want to see sometimes.
Right. And I think honestly, you know, with a younger board, you know, it might give us, we may not want to spend that extra money just to be able to have a retreat that's focused if we have anything come up in the fall. You know, it's a nice way to bring in training to us specialized to whatever we need. So I've always been in favor of that. But as long as somebody has it virtual so that we can see the presentations, I think you'd be covered.
Any thoughts, Teresa? Have you attended?
No, I have not.
Okay.
No. And so, but I think the virtual offers you an opportunity to have access to all of them. And I know a lot of people don't like to drive down to New York City.
Are you planning to attend?
Well, we did talk about it,
Okay.
but
So
I wanted to get the feel for what the board is
Okay.
looking at, so.
I would attend virtually, though,
Okay.
Yeah,
and my preference would be to have a retreat. if-
right.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
actually.
That way
we
you can
have-
take, you always have, doesn't mean you have to have a retreat, just means you have the availability. If anything comes up, you can tailor what you're doing.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's always a nice thing. And that you're being very conscious with taxpayers' dollars that way too. So,
So the retreat, that's something we would look to do through NISBA?
it's anything on the table as far
Yeah.
as I'm concerned. You know,
Yeah.
we've pulled in outside speakers, they're not necessarily NISBA. Depends on what your topic is. I would get the school year started and start to see, are there any places we need help in those areas? You know, if you're doing a big project that involves, you know, fields, right? Maybe you want to do some kind of facilities type training. Maybe you want to do financial training. You know, maybe we have a curveball come from the state we don't see again. So I would just wait and get the school year started and then set a meeting in late September, October to just actually have that on the agenda to say, hey, do we really need to have a retreat? And if so, what would the topics be?
Yeah.
And I think that would give Teresa time to settle in too and say, hey, you know, I would like personally some of this training on this aspect. We could all train together, so.
I think some of the question with the federal funding right now is a big issue, so I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are setting time in the fall to do financial
Yeah.
work, so.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
That would be my thought for
Okay.
maybe, but
And as we go through the strategic planning over the summer, and, you know, we're gonna be talking a lot about what our goals are for next year, and as a board as well, I think that'll help us focus on, you know, a retreat for the fall.
So only one of us takes the conferences, or can more than one of us?
More than one can. If we had the virtual option, anybody can attend the virtual option. Anybody can go in person. We're not trying to limit that, obviously. So, but I think the virtual, what was nice last time is when you took the virtual, it made the presentations available to everybody.
Okay.
So then we could pull them down. I looked at
So
a
you can
couple
download
different
them and
ones.
share
Yeah,
them.
We
Like my
usually,
meetings.
whoever goes, even virtually, they usually present back to the board
Yep.
on some of the main topics that we heard about.
and then I believe we uploaded them in the library
Mhm.
for
They're
access.
all
Correct. Oh,
available
that's-
to everyone.
Yeah,
Are
no,
this-
that's great.
Yeah, this is one of our best tools, is this library here. Anybody does anything, you share it out on that, and then everybody has access.
So what I'm hearing is that you, Mr. Verweer, will attend virtually.
I will,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
And still open if anybody else wants to attend
Sure.
virtually, but they would have to tell you by the 12th.
Right, they need to let me know.
Okay. The NISBA live virtual annual business meeting is scheduled for October 16th at 4 p.m. We need someone to act as a delegate and an alternate.
Right, and we do have that appointment later in the meeting.
Okay, so we have to decide right now. Okay.
We could postpone it a little bit.
Last year I acted as the delegate. Graydon wants to do it this year.
No, I
would say.
don't.
Okay.
That one year, I was 12 hours on that, and it was
It's-
brutal.
Yeah, it's a very long meeting.
Not selling it.
Oh, I mean, it was the best 12 hours of my life, I apologize.
You just all made us wanna sign up.
It was it's hard, because in the 12th hour, they're trying to keep people so they still have a quorum. It is, I think Mr. Verweer did an excellent job last year, and he told us all about it, and as a president, really, probably he should be. Throwing that out
There you
there.
go. I'll do it again this year.
See how easy that was?
And an alternate, would anybody volunteer to be the alternate for that?
I would, knowing that you're going to attend it.
Okay,
Okay.
so Graydon is the alternate. Okay, we already talked about the retreat. And so advisory committees. We have to decide who's gonna be on our standing committees. We have, our standing committees are gonna be appointed tonight. I believe there's a list of, right, committees.
Correct.
That's in board docs. Our standing committees are finance, facilities, curriculum, policy, and shared services. So we have some open positions on those committees. We need to decide who's gonna be joining what committees, so maybe we'll just go through, where's the list that is?
It's on that live link.
Okay. Oh, okay, I see, at the bottom. Okay,
May I have
so,
that back?
yep, so facilities, we have one vacancy. Currently, we have Graydon and Jake. The president as alternate. Director of facilities, school business manager, high school principal, middle school principal, and elementary school principal on that committee. I did have interest in joining this committee, but I also was not expecting to have this role right now, so if anybody else is.
I'd be interested in that one.
You're interested in that one as well? Okay.
I don't mind if I have to make space. It is, I have been with that committee for a long time, and I have a lot of history with it, but
Okay.
if push came to shove and somebody, yeah, okay.
No,
But
thank you. What's that?
I would like to say policy is a great learning committee. I'm on policy, I would give that one up, so there's 2 spots for people, especially new board members. Policy is a great committee to be on, because it gives you a good bandwidth of how the school operates and how policies work, how they get introduced, things like that. So I would stay, if we want to, if this is open discussion, I definitely would stay on facilities then. But I think I would come off policy just to give room for other people to get on that, because I think it's an important committee for learning.
Facilities is gonna be important as we look over the next, 2 years, because we're gonna have a capital project that's coming out. So Michelle, you're
I could throw my name in the hat for that
interested?
one.
Okay. And Jake, you're still good?
Still
Okay.
fine.
Finance committee, we have 2 vacancies.
I would be interested in that,
Okay, all right, so we have Bruce.
and I would also be interested in the audit
Okay.
Okay.
committee.
Yeah.
Would that fall in your skill set, sir?
It's nice having a board with a round of skills, it's great.
Anybody else interested in finance?
I worked at it with you last year. I mean, if there's just nobody that wants to fill it, again, that's a good one. If you don't have to understand finance 100% just to get on it and learn the ins and outs of where the money goes and how it comes in. I would advocate for somebody being on that so they have long-term, someone that's here for the next 3 years at least, get on that so they can get understanding it.
I can do that one too.
Okay.
And then that should be mine. 2 should be plenty.
curriculum, policy, we have, now I'm hearing 2 vacancies, right? Because you're gonna step down from your position. Anybody interested in,
I think that one, you said that's like
Yeah.
a rounded.
I think it's a great opportunity, policy.
You're saying that for every committee.
Well, I mean, I was gonna point at Kevin Charles, but he's not here now, but when Corey rewrote that manual, I mean, it took years of going through every single policy, and what a learning experience. You couldn't learn on a faster track than have all that thrown in front of you, so I just think it's a great opportunity.
yeah, the policy committee is interesting because you see the laws that are coming down from the state,
Right.
and then we get to, well, in most cases, you get to have some say in how the laws are implemented locally and get to, influence the policies, which eventually leads to the regulations and what actually is happening in the school. So it's a pretty good committee to learn about all the processes that are going on in the district. Still one opening, right? Any other
there's
interest
one
or?
We could always leave a vacancy
Okay,
for the
so we'll leave
time
it.
being.
Leave a vacancy for that.
Okay.
And then curriculum, we have 2 vacancies. We have Tammy on that committee, president as alternate, high school principal, middle school principal, elementary school principal. I'm coming off the curriculum committee. I found it to be very informative because as a group, you get to review all the testing data from the school. You get to interact with the principals, so you get to, review the textbooks, do textbook approvals.
Everybody looks so excited about that.
Yes.
Michelle looks like she's dying.
And I believe that committee meets 3 times a year?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, the curriculum?
Yep.
Curriculum.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, if nobody else is gonna bite.
Still one more spot. Allie, do you want to learn about curriculum? Mr. Dolph?
I would do shared services.
Oh, that's gonna be a competitive one, I don't know.
Jake, interested in curriculum or?
Yeah, I'll go
Okay.
Curriculum, Jake?
on. I'll do curriculum.
Shared services?
I'd be interested in doing that.
Okay, great, you're interested in staying on.
I think so.
And Jake, you're interested in
Yeah,
staying on
I'm
that, okay. Anybody else
If I-
interested in?
If I can't make a meeting for that, it's okay, because you're always gonna be the alternate.
Right.
Okay.
So that's just not listed there,
Yeah,
that should be
that should be
corrected, but
Mhm.
if I can't make a meeting, I'll give you advance notice, you know what I mean, then you can jump right in.
Anybody else interested in shared services? Okay. Audit committee, Bruce already indicated,
Mhm.
there was only one opening. And then the district-wide safety committee, we have 1 vacancy, Jake is already on that.
I'll join them.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion on the advisory committees?
We'll
so
just
these
get
will be-
emails for that, for when things are coming up
Yep.
for, okay.
Yeah, there'll be separate email and calendar coordination on those committee meetings. And these are all coming up for a vote later
Mhm,
tonight?
yes.
Yep. Okay. So moving on to correspondence.
The only thing we have tonight as a courtesy is information about an American Red Cross blood drive we will be having here on Tuesday, July 16th, between the hours of noon and 5. That will be in the high school gym.
Thank you, Corey.
You're welcome.
Any additions to the agenda?
We don't have any additions, but I did make one change today. The summer school teacher aide, we removed Catherine Desai and we added Tammy Barringer.
So now we're moving on to item 9, regular meeting consent agenda. Does anybody have a need to pull any of those items for discussion? If not, I entertain a motion for approval.
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? That item is approved. Moving on to item 10, regular meeting, new business. Accepting donations. So we have two donations, $100 from Chad and Karina Trimble to the Walton Honor Society and $525 from Arcadis Architects, Engineers, and Landscape Architects to the Walton Central School District to fund the 24-25 end of year employee luncheon. I entertain a motion for approval.
Make a motion.
Second.
Item is seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The item's approved. 10B, appoint facilities advisory committee. So now we're getting to our committee approvals. So for facilities, we're going to have Braden, Michelle, and Jake. I would entertain a motion for approval.
Make a motion.
Second.
Item is seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? That item's approved. 10C, the Finance Advisory Committee. So this is myself, Michelle, and Bruce.
Yes, I just have to type in those names.
Okay.
Okay,
I would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Item seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? That is approved. Policy Committee, we have Ally, myself, and then a vacancy, correct?
right.
Yes, and we're gonna leave that open and somebody can choose to join later if they change their mind. Would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move it.
Second.
Item seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any noes? Curriculum Advisory. We have Tammy and Jake. So we're adding Jake. We still have one opening, correct?
No, I think it's me.
Oh, Michelle. Okay, that's right. No openings there. So Tammy, Jake, Michelle. Would entertain a motion for approval.
Make a motion.
Second.
Item seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Items approved. Shared services. We have Graydon, Jake, and Bruce. I would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
President as alternate.
President as alternate. Yes.
So that was Tammy and Jake?
No.
This is
No, I'm.
Graydon.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
sorry.
yes,
Motion.
yes, yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, on the motion, yes.
So I have on that committee, I have Mr. Dutcher, Mr. Davies, and Mr. Dahl, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. Item's been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Item's approved. So now we are on
So the
10.
audit committee will come back, because that was done during reorg, so that will come back in August as an old business item.
Okay.
And the district-wide safety committee, that will be updated in the district-wide safety plan, and that will come to you in August as well. Okay?
Yep. So we are on 10G. Okay, so this is, this item is for Dr. McDonald to provide transitional services at the discretion of our new superintendent of schools, Teresa, for up to 30 days at his per diem rate for the 25-26 school year. So basically allowing Dr. McDonald to support us as we transition into Teresa as our new superintendent. Would entertain a motion.
I'd make that motion.
Second.
Any item seconded? Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any noes? That's approved.
Thank you.
You're on 10H. This is for the NISBA business meeting, voting delegate and alternate. So this would be myself as the voting delegate and Graydon as the alternate.
Mhm.
I would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Item seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? The item is approved. I, we have the school resource officer agreement, so this would be for the full 25-26 school year, beginning September 2nd through September 2nd, 2025 through June 27th, 2026.
I'd make that motion.
Second.
Item is seconded. Any further discussion? Not hear anything. I would entertain, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The item is approved. Item J, the external auditor letter of agreement. This is to approve our external auditor, which is D'Archiangelo and Company for the current year it just ended,
Right.
June 30th, 2025.
I'll move it.
Second.
Item is seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? The item is approved. Okay, approval of the sports program merger.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Item is seconded. Any further discussion? Not hear anything? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any nays? The item is approved. Next, we have item L, the timber sale proposal. So this is for, we discussed this last meeting, this would be for preparation of the timber sale on the school property. Entertain a motion.
Are we going to allow the sugar maple to go too, or are we just gonna stay with the ash only?
What's in here? I believe we went with the ash.
Ash only, I
Only.
thought.
I'm just reading what Ron's proposal was.
Yeah, I believe we were ash only on that, but,
I could put that in the resolution if you'd like.
So he does know the sugar maple?
Why would you want to cut the sugar maple down?
so I think we weren't ready for a full-blown timber harvest yet. That wasn't coming up yet, but the infestation of the emerald ash borer is basically through the area.
Yeah, if we can get just the emerald, get the ash out of there,
Yep.
get it healthy again. The sugar maple will be
So
worth
at-
more, a couple more years down the road.
At the end of the resolution, where it says end sale of timber, I could put in there ash only.
Or you can honestly, it's up to us, the part of,
Infested with
well,
anything that's,
you can go with it as is open and then have him identify to you in board fee, you know what I mean, what they're actually proposing on cutting. His thought process is, usually with that, is if you throw in some species of ash that are ready to go and they're getting close to over, it may bring in more bitters because it's a multi-stem harvest. I would almost lean on the side of, you tell us what you plan on having cut. Our emphasis would be ash. But I don't want to leave standing trees there that are ready to, they're past mature, you know what I mean? But that's up to the full board. I would just have him, he's gonna break out and submit to us calculate volumes and everything, all the forests to be sold. So we'll know point blank, is there 1,000 board foot of ash, is there not?
I think that makes sense. I wouldn't want to necessarily limit it, especially if there are other species that are getting close.
Yeah.
And
I think we just
just
reiterate
manage it.
sign that and reiterate to Rod that we're looking for ash because that's what we've identified. if there are other species, let us know, but we're not looking for a full-blown, harvest down to nothing. We wanna make sure that we're being very selective on any other species. I think just a good conversation will
Is
take
this,
care of that.
is this in need of revision then, as is, or is this
So his
waiting on a
services,
deadline, or?
if you approve this, his services are going to be to measure and calculate volumes of everything he has marked.
Yeah.
He's gonna mark it, measure it, calculate it, and then bid it, and handle all the bidding for us. So at that point in time, you're not asking to do anything different. Just, you'll have a report of what they're doing. And I just think a good conversation with him when this is delivered, to just reiterate, we want ash, very minimal, any other species touched.
We can always decline the bids if they include more than what we would like and send them back out for rebid if they're not exactly to what we are asking.
Right, he wouldn't
Yes.
put out the bid until he got our approval on there.
This is our approval to have him go out, mark, and actually do the legwork to bring it to a bid and get bidders for it.
Including the
Yeah,
bid.
so that's why I would deliver this with a discussion with him, have a discussion with Rod, and just say, we're focused on ash. If you're putting in other species, keep that very limited. That's not our purpose of the logging. It's basically just to take care of, infestation. We don't need to log. We're just doing it to take care of the infestation.
2-3 more years, we could lose out on money if we don't.
Well, you're gonna have people using the woods, and, ash trees are starting to fall down at this point, so
Yeah.
it's a liability all the way around.
Any further discussion? Bruce, you had a motion on that.
A second.
Jake with a second.
I'm kinda quick on that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Choose your race to see.
No further discussion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any nays? The item's approved. Item M, personnel appointments. So we have a few personnel appointments. I would entertain a motion.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Item seconded. Any further discussion? Not hearing anything. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any nays? The item's approved. On to 11A, the policy review. I'll give this one a shot, or I could.
That's totally up to you.
Graydon, you want to do it?
All right. This is part of our manual review over 2 years. So these are the policies we highlight this time of year because they're most important to follow up on. 0000 mission, vision, and core values statements. 0300 accountability. 2000 board operational goals. 2100 school board legal status. And 2110 school board powers and duties. Review those at your convenience. Again, those are hand-selected and timing for the start of the new year. If you're up to date on those, it should give you some good insight as to what we're doing.
And Corey is set up, through the policy committee, has set up a rolling review period for all of our policies. So we have a set that's going to be coming up at each of the meetings. And if that's your opportunity basically to review the policies, and we can bring them up for discussion. The first one there, actually, I did want to discuss the mission, vision, and core value statements, because I know we had talked last summer at the strategic planning we were doing last year about taking another look at our mission and vision, and knowing that we're going to have a new superintendent come on board, that would be an opportunity to sort of refresh those. So I guess I would open that up for anybody to discuss. If that's something we're interested in doing, we could. Or Teresa, if you have thoughts, if we want to try to loop that into our strategic planning process somehow.
I would personally think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Not that I'm looking to change things, but I
Yeah.
think it's important to review that and see if you're in line with what you want for the school, as well as what's happening in the school is aligned to what you're saying. So I actually suggest everybody look at mission, vision, and core values every year when I did staff development, because you need to make sure you're doing what you're saying you're doing.
Yep.
So I think that's an important one to do.
So I guess I would encourage everybody to take a close look at that policy, and then for meeting on the 22nd, right?
22nd,
Where we're gonna be talking about what our goals are for the upcoming year. That could be an opportunity for us to get into deeper discussion on.
I would open up wider too and ask your admin and all staff, send out an all staff email, just say if does anybody have any comments on addressing those that we could possibly entertain. Seems like we do have people here. That if any of that needs to be changed or looked at or developed, you know, that's another thing that we used to target as a retreat, right? They used to do a retreat to build those things. I don't necessarily think that's the best use of your money. If staff brings it up and say we could tweak this, this, and this, I think that's the best way to do it. And then if you had to follow up with something like that, you could later.
I think it is going on like 5 years, right, since
Yeah.
this has been developed, so. I know NISBA recommends that it's,
2019,
yeah.
looking at,
yeah, so NISBA recommends that this is something you do every 3 to 4 years, really, and so it's, our time has come.
Yeah, and every year I suggest looking at the data to see if you're meeting your goals,
Mhm.
so, and then you can revisit to change.
I just think it gives staff a great opportunity to give us guidance.
Very much, it's
Yes,
important to get,
yeah.
and most of the schools I worked with, we created surveys or
Yeah.
offered that, like you said, an email out. And it just gave the board an opportunity to look at that, and it was holistically developed.
No vote on policy review, right? Just review, okay. All right, so moving on to 11B, policy first reading. We have one policy for first reading tonight, that's 8113 extreme heat condition days. I would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
And seconded. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Not hearing any, the item's approved. Now we're on to administrative remarks, superintendent remarks. So,
I've been
Teresa.
here so many days. No, I just really want to say how appreciative I am that I am here. And my goal is to work with you as a board and help develop those strategic goals and the mission and vision with the whole community, school community. So I'm really just very happy to be here, and I've had a really good first day. So thank you again for bringing me on board.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I am not sure if we need an executive session any longer.
Okay.
We do. We have two things on that, right?
I'm not sure that we have an update.
Okay. Well, the one we have to discuss employee
For,
performance.
sure.
Yeah.
So we do have a need for,
Ms. Glavin, did you get an update from the attorney?
When I have left, no, but I will look right again right now. No.
So I mean, we can mention, it's just, we'd like to go into executive session just to discuss and wrap up our final superintendent evaluation has to be done in executive, so we have to do that.
So just for the matter relating to the evaluation of an employee.
so I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Item seconded. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Not hearing any, that's approved. And then no action will be taken in executive session, so we will be adjourning after.
Motion to adjourn after.
Seconded.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No. All right, we're adjourned. We're going to do exec.